Do you recognize that? Well, if you're out and about and you hear that, it's going to be a white-tailed deer. Guess what we're going to feature on today's program? You guessed it, we're going to talk about the white-tailed deer. We love feeding the deer at our farm, and this is a young doe that has been coming around. Right now she's interested in the cattails. She's eating these cattails. Did you know they can jump about 9 feet in the air, and they can run approximately about, well, they've been clocked at going about 47 miles an hour, and so they can move out when they need to. But she's in her summer coat. It's a red coat, and it's a short coat, and in the fall of the year that coat will turn to more of a brown or kind of a gray color, and it'll have an undercoat, and just beautiful animals. Look at those ears going back and forth, and those ears are just listening for any sign of danger that might be around, and they'll have an excellent sense of smell, and their eyes are really sharp too. But if you stand real still, don't move, you know what? A deer can just look at you and know that you're there, it can smell you, but it can't quite figure out what is this. And sometimes they'll blow at you. They'll go, whoosh, whoosh, and that's trying to get you to move, and they'll stomp their foot. And if you don't move, they just don't know quite what to think. As you look right here, you're going to see a wood duck come swimming right by. This is a hen wood duck coming swimming right by my deer. Beautiful animals right here. And what you're looking at right here is a young buck, and his antlers are just starting to grow. He's probably not going to grow very tall antlers this year. They'll grow those antlers every year. They'll shed the antlers, and the antlers are in velvet. But this deer is interested in my cat. Probably thinks, boy, I'd like to have that cat to go home with me. Or he might be thinking, I wonder if that's a baby cougar. If that's a baby cougar, I don't think I do want it to go home with me. But just a beautiful young animal. You can see that it's moving its ears back and forth, listening for any sign of danger, and just taking its nose and trying to figure out what is this. Now, they'll rub their antlers on trees in the fall of the year, usually about September, and you can see that velvet is coming off the antlers right now, and they've turned really hard. And just a beautiful buck right here, licking his nose, breaking down the scent molecule so it can smell really well. They keep doing that, licking their nose, doing that. And this would be about mid-November or so, during the rut. And the buck, his neck is swelled big, and he's got just one thing on his mind, to chase that doe around, and he'll try to find as many does as what he can. And the young fawns, they're going to be born, it's around May or June, and usually if it's the first year, she'll only have one fawn, and if it's a second year, she'll have two. Sometimes they'll have three. Then as she gets older, it'll be back to one. A deer in the wild usually lives to be about 7 years old if it has a good life. Some might live up to be about 8 years old. In captivity, they've been known to live a lot longer than that, about 12 to 15 years. This is a little fawn right here. I remember one time I was hunting mushrooms, and stepped over a log, and there was a little fawn. I thought, oh no, my dogs are with me. They're going to smell that fawn. It could be danger for the fawn. But you know what? The dogs jumped over the log, and they never smelled the deer at all. And here's why: because the mother will lick that fawn and remove that scent, and the fawns don't have very much of a scent at all when they're first born. But the beautiful animals, these deer right here, they're probably about 2 months old or so, just kind of guessing. But look at those ears. They know that there's a cameraman that's ahead of them that's hidden, and look, stomping its foot, and they're very alert. Beautiful animals. Don't you think? One of God's wonderful creations. I love this verse of scripture in Psalm 42, verse 1. It reads, "As the deer pants for the water brooks, so pants my soul for you, O God." I've been able to speak at many churches all over America at wild game suppers, and hunters will come in with their trophies, and we have wild game to eat. Oh, it's fun. I usually tell a few hunting stories, and I sing some songs, and I'm going to do one of the songs that I sing at these wild game suppers, and the song is "My Black Powder Rifle and My Bowie Knife." It's all about living in the wilderness. Hope you enjoy this tune. It goes like this. With my black powder rifle and my Bowie knife, I'm going to God's country and live out my life. Some say it's a long shot and I aim to be there, with my black powder rifle on a mountain somewhere. Since I was a boy, I dreamed of the day to live where the deer and the antelope play. I'll trade this 4-lane for a road made of dirt, so far in the country the cell phones won't work. With my black powder rifle and my Bowie knife, I'm going to God's country and live out my life. Some say it's a long shot and I aim to be there, with my black powder rifle on a mountain somewhere.